Good morning to our viewers all across the world. Welcome to your poetic interlude on the Weekend Show. My name is Emeka Ozorumba. Now, poetry is a potent tool for societal change. Poetry seems to ask quizzical questions derived from the society's vague animosity. Poetry is not meant for aesthetics alone. It can also be a studied device in fighting for the liberation and emancipation of a group of people or persons in distress. Poetry can be a force to curb the eligibility of bad governance or the misuse of power, or government without good economic policies, government without morality or accountability, thereby delving into satirical fecunds that could address the ills of the society. In Nigeria, the use of poetry in the development of the Nigerian society too is key. And this is because poetry can be the voice of the voiceless and the hope of the hopeless, especially in the occasions of tyranny, where the people are compressed of suppression but cannot speak out because of the climate of terrorism posed if they speak the truth. And what more way to call all these perceived wrongs to order than to sensitize the people on the estimation of their true worth in life when the people become debased by perpetual debilitating government based on pauperism and mendicantism. And speaking of a litany of societal evils, today my piece is titled Legitimacy is Resplendent, and the poem speaks about such a societal fixation. Legitimacy is resplendent. There is one phenomenon every society craves, and that is a successful bridge between creativity and positivity. There is one goal that every community seeks in wholesome, and that is a balance between its coherence and adherence to its strata of relativity. These are the economic and social welfare postulations, and these are viable claims for the fluid coordination of a society to its impulsive innate ability to create for itself sustainable goals, to create for itself consciously a deserving habitation free of contractions of insalubrious landmines that pulsate in bickering retractions, creating a forceful imposition of negativity. And what are these perceived aspirations? They are things like creating societal development for the people, creating infrastructural development to ameliorate the needs of the people. And what do a people really need? They need an economy that can offer them financial freedom. They need a society that can successfully harness their potential. They need an environment that can foster the thought of creativity in them. They need a government that can listen to their outcry. They need leadership that can steer them toward the path of growth and stability. They need a government that can give them total liberation. And the people themselves are like building blocks because it takes the effort of every citizen to successfully develop their society. And these harbingers then bring a uniformity of purpose, both in civil and corporate association, for the development of their country, be it a concerted effort toward the achievements of their goals as a people. And a democratic conscious people must always remind themselves about their goal as a people. They must strive to create sustainable development in their society. And that's where legitimacy raises its being. A government on the mandate and legitimacy of the people is always resplendent. Leadership based on the will of the people always works in similitude with the progress of the people. But government based on fraudulent legitimacy is never resplendent in creating a society free and fair to all legitimacy of purpose. It's earned, not forged. And leadership that claims legitimacy must give back to the society the dividend of their mandate by creating for the people an avenue for growth, by striving to create a plethora of wealth availability for the people, by protecting human and civil rights of the people, by protecting the rights of the poor and disabled, by protecting the rights of women and children, by giving the younger generation access to free education, by creating social security plans for the people. This resplendent views a true government based on the will of the people must protect. These ideals are enshrined in a viable constitution created by viable governance. So in this clause, legitimacy is resplendent and illegitimacy becomes decadent. Legitimacy is not for the weak or cowardly. It is not for the immature or unprepared. Leadership without legitimacy does not represent the interest of the people. Legitimacy does not burn traumatized flames in egocentric hearts. Legitimacy is resplendent in leadership. in that it satisfies the expectations of the citizen, in whose mandates it wedges its dispositions. And the citizens are the elements of democracy. And to overthrow democracy is to shove aside the mandate of the voter. And degradation of our political environment must cease. Most of our policies are by these realities rendered irrelevant. A government of legitimacy and resplendence should creatively challenge and defeat these anomalies. By altruistic and selfless leadership, it will only take a tactical, patriotic, and unselfish leader to lead Nigeria on toward the path of progress. Those in authority need not be dictators. They must protect and project democracy. And this is because personalizing the people's power disempowers the people, and giving false mandate dehumanizes the people. Totalitarians give themselves legitimacy and meritocracy where it was not given. They only implore deceitful impositions, but a government of legitimacy will implement policies that will edify the people in squalid and murky waters. Government that merits its claim must navigate a safe labyrinth for the people, and a government of legitimacy is an accountable and resplendent one. My lovely viewers all across the world, legitimacy is given by legitimacy in accurate voting, counting of the scores, and giving the people the mandate. Because the people give their mandate first. Then the mandate must be given back to the people by making socioeconomic stratifications in the society resplendent. I love your audience all across the world. I hope you have enjoyed watching your Poetic Interlude on The Weekend Show. Do stay tuned because we have more coming up for you on The Weekend Show.